Well, the stream is now live. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Her Talks 2024. I am your host, Dr. Angela House. We are here every Thursday night interviewing a dynamic lady from our network, the Herpreneur Network. If you're not familiar with us, the Herpreneur Network is a network of Christian women in business and in ministry. We celebrate each other, we create together, and most importantly, we collaborate together. We have a plethora of different women with different skill sets from all across the United States. The network is growing by leaps and bounds, and we are just having a good time doing the works that God has told us to do from a business perspective, but keeping Christianity and God's word in the center of what it is that we do. We have some amazing events that I'm going to tell you about in a little bit that are coming up. But first, I want to introduce you tonight to my extremely special guest, Dr. Cynthia KKohliem. She is the owner of Compassionate Care LLC, and she is also a minister and pastor. Dr. Cynthia, welcome to Her Talks tonight. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Angela. I am blessed and so happy to be here tonight and be a part of her talks.
Awesome, awesome. We're glad to have you here. And for those of you who are out there, I want y'all to give her a wave and say happy birthday because she just celebrated her birthday yesterday. And yes, she's one of those April babies that we're going to celebrate all month long.
And I'm so excited. I'm excited. She's definitely right. I'm celebrating every day this month.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I want you to tell us a little bit about you. You are what I call a double nickel. You're a business owner, you have Compassionate Care Clinic, and you're a pastor. So, in my words, and these are my words only, when we come to you, there's double healing. I can heal your body medically, but I can help you heal your soul. So, tell us about you and your journey, and how did you get here to the point that being a medical doctor, but you're also a pastor?
Ooh, Dr. Angela, Dr. Angela. so I am so let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a little old country girl come out of Chesterville, Mississippi, and I've been married to um, a deacon named Glenn Coline. We've been married in August will be 43 years.
Wow.
We only had two children of our own. Our oldest son passed away with pancreatic cancer in 2008, but the Lord blessed us to adopt a set of twins that we got when they were 2 months old,
Oh,
and they're
wow.
now 26 years old. So which we didn't know at the time that they were going to be just the ultimate blessing. They were actually children that we got in foster care. Um, I, with my little fast self, wanted a daughter, but I was not having any more children. I'm not having nothing. There's too many children that needs mamas, and
Yes,
so
that's
I was
true.
going to get some in foster care. And I really wanted to foster a lot of children. But after I fostered the twins who were very, very, very sick, um, I knew if I fostered 20, I would keep all 20 of them and I would adopt all 20 of them. So after the twins, there were no more fostering
Oh,
children.
all
Uh,
right.
so my husband and I was in a factory. I worked in a factory, and my husband saw in a vision. He's a visionary for my family. He's always taken care of us, and he wanted me to get out and go back to school. He said, "Go to school," and I was like, "Do what?" And he was like, "I don't care what you do, just go to school. You will not stay in that factory. Go to school." And so I went to school, y'all, and I went to beauty school, but I could not do hair. Nothing. I could even use a curling iron. And so I sing in a gospel group called the Majestic Voices. We've been singing together for 30 years. But anyway,
Oh,
we were on the van going to Iowa, I think. I think it's where we were going that night. And one of the girls were curling her hair. And I said, let me see that curling iron. And I took the curling iron and made one perfect curl. And I said, I'm going to beauty school. And they laughed me to scorn. And I ran home and told my husband I'm going to beauty school. And I went to beauty school and had a beauty shop for 16 years. And
Wow.
all of them were patrons of mine. And then the recession came, and my husband said it's time to go back to school. And so I said, and do what? And he said, to be a nurse. And I laughed him to scorn, because I said to him, I'm not smart enough to be a nurse. He said, you're smart enough to do anything that you want to do. And I said, I cannot be a nurse. He said, just go and apply. I said, I'll make you a deal. I'll apply. If they don't let me go, then that's the end of that. I applied, Dr. Angela. I did not get in. And I went back home. I told him, I said, I didn't get in. He said, oh, well, don't get too excited. You're going to apply again. So in the meantime, I went to CNA and I applied for CNA school, and I took CNA classes, passed that, got my certificate in that, and reapplied for RN, got in. And my husband pushed me from that time on. Every time I got a degree, he kept saying, keep going. I got you at home. I'm going to take care of these kids. I'm going to help you through. I got you. And he did. And it got me all the way where I got a doctorate in nursing and my own clinic. And he's just that man that he's always taken care of me. And he's the one that God blessed me with to push me into my next. So that's how I got from there to this. And then as far as pastoring, I've been preaching for ever since my youngest son has been in the world, and he's 32. So I started preaching about 32 years ago. I ran from it a lot because it's just something I didn't want to do. And it's not that I didn't want to do necessarily what God was calling me to do, but I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like
Ah,
I was
yeah,
worthy to do
yes,
that. And I
yep.
kept saying, God, get somebody that's worthy. And now, I know better. But I finally embraced what God said to do. And when I did, um, God began to move me in levels that I just did not know even existed. And I actually was assistant pastor at this church some time back. And God moved me from the church because I had gotten too common with the people. And I was
Okay.
in
Understand.
and I was in that place at the time that I was not my season for it. And he had to move me to a place and grow me up and get me to the level where I needed to be in order to be the pastor that I should be for those people. And then he sent me back. And then he
Awesome.
sent me back
Awesome.
a whole different person at a whole different place in my life. So I thank God that he does what he wants when he gets ready.
Yes, he does. Now he will make you do some things, and you be going, me. I used to try to bargain. I'd be like, well, if you let me do this, then I can do that. But if you don't do this, can I do that? And I don't. I know. I finally, when I was younger, that was me. Well, if I do this, can I do that? But I've gotten to the point that now I just listen and obey.
Ask me, did I do any bargaining through that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Sure I
oh yeah,
did.
oh yeah.
And then I had the nerve to say, now I know you ain't about to send me back after you sent me over here to do. I know you ain't about to do that.
Oh yeah. So I would be having these bargaining sessions, and sometimes I just said, okay, he said I could do this, and I would do it, and we would watch it flop. Sometimes it might succeed a little bit, but not what it was supposed to do. And I was like, I guess you really didn't say yeah, did you? So I have these conversations going on, so I understand exactly what you're saying about that. But we have to be thankful for your husband, and I'm going to call him Mr. Provoker, Mr. Pusher,
And he does just
and
that. I
he
thank
pushed
God
you
so
in
much for him.
and he pushed you in the right direction,
He do.
because it's a great story to hear, because I've always wondered, how did you combine the two? You're a medical doctor, nurse practitioner, medical doctors, surgeons, oncologists, any type of doctor. You're so in demand, you're so driven with what it is that you do from your medical profession, that sometimes I think we get lost in the fact that we need to keep ourselves centered in God. And it looks like God has put you in a place where you've just got a great balance between the two.
And you have to be very careful because you can't although I'm a pastor and a preacher, I have to watch my words and I have to be careful to make sure that I keep that balance because everybody is not spiritual. Everybody don't want to
Yes.
hear about God. And so I have to be careful there. And so I know, you know, and I know when a person wants to hear about God and I know when a person don't want to hear about God. And so I keep that balance. I know when to be pastor, I know when to be Dr. Cynthia, and I know when to be counselor or whatever. So and I
Exactly.
always pray every morning before I do anything, and I always ask God to take the lead. I don't want to do anything out of the will of God. So I always ask him, you take the lead, you lead me which way I need to go. Let me know what I need to say in every situation, because what I don't ever want to do is lead a person down the wrong path, whether it be medically or spiritually.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, that was a good segue because one of the questions that I have for you is how do you find yourself incorporating your faith in with your medical?
And that is a good question. Because again, first thing I do is regardless to whatever I got going on, I'm going to always, because the word of God tells us to always um, acknowledge him in everything that we do.
Yes.
And I'm going to do that because there is no way that I can practice medicine. I can't. Now I don't know what other doctors or what how they do it or what they do. I don't trust me to practice medicine on a person because I'm dealing with people's lives. So I
Exactly.
don't trust me to deal with people's lives. I trust God to do that for me. And so I always pray and ask him what I need to do concerning situations, even though I have the book knowledge of it.
Right.
The book knowledge may not always be what that person may need per se. So I need him to lead me and to guide me. And so sometimes even in that, the even when I'm in office, I allow the person to lead the conversation or lead the visit. Because most people, almost a lot of people who come to me know me or has already heard about me.
Okay.
So they pretty much know. And so a lot of them who's seeking me know who they're getting. And so they're coming specifically for something. And a lot of them coming to pretty much get a praying doctor, a doctor that knows God. And so that they want that. And
Yes.
so they're gonna lead the conversation to there at some point.
And that's good because I'm sure that gives them some kind of comfort that they have within you as that God-fearing person, and that makes them more trustful of your medical abilities. So we're going to take a break right now. We've had some people that have come in that said hello. Facebook user came in and said hello. Someone else said, hey, Queens. Uh, Glenda Kelly has come in and said, good afternoon. Dr. Joe is in the house saying, hello, Queens. So we're going to ask everybody to tag and share, to tag and share. Don't miss the rest of this conversation with this amazing, amazing woman who is not only a medical doctor, but is also a pastor. So if you're just joining in, you're looking at the Herpreneur Network's Her Talks 2024. My name is Dr. Angela House. I'm your host for this show. Every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern, we are here with an amazing guest to bring some light to help you find some answers to some of the questions that you may have. You can put your questions in the chat if you have any. And let me tell you about the Herpreneur Network. The Herpreneur Network to me is an amazing network. It is a
Yes.
collaboration of women. It is Christian women in ministry and in business. We celebrate each other, we create together, and most important, we collaborate together. It doesn't matter what you need. You know, when you go to church, the pastor always says, whatever you need is in the house. From a business perspective and a ministry perspective, in this network, whatever you need, it is in the network. Now we have some amazing events that are coming up. We have the Her Experience coming up in the end of May. It is May 30th through June the 2nd. We are going to go to Houston. Someone said one to me one day, uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. And I said, and the Herpreneur Network is coming with solutions. So We are the problem solver. We're coming to Houston. We're going to turn it out. It is a business expo. It is a fantastic networking opportunity. If you are a public speaker, if you are a vendor, let us know so we can get the information to you so that you can become part of this fantastic, fantastic expo that we're going to be having. If you live in the Houston area, come in and join us. We'd be love to have you there with us. Everyone that knows is familiar with this network knows every year we go on the Strong Her retreat, normally to Destin, Florida. We have pivoted this year and we're going on a cruise. We're going on the Strong Her cruise. So I need you guys to stay in touch with the network so you can get this information. We're going on a cruise in October and we are already talking about the Her experience for next year because we have really stepped up. God said, level up. You're not going, you're going international on the cruise, you're going global. So we are going to Dubai. So join us for Dubai. If you want some information, just put it in the chat. We'll get that information to you. But the Herpreneur Network is moving. We're growing. It is one of the greatest places for me that you can be to help round out the life that you have, help you with your balance with your businesses, with your ministry, and just push you into your destiny. I'd like to say one of the things that we do is help push everyone into their next. Tonight, we are here with Dr. Cynthia KKohliem. She is an amazing, amazing woman. She is a minister, she's a mother, she is a doctor. So we know that your husband is your provoker. And
Yes.
we know that you use your faith with your business, with your medical business. So tell me, what is it that makes you tick? What is it that you get out of it that makes you feel most rewarded in combining those two professions? Because they are two very distinct professions, and you have sort of perfected bringing them together as one.
The most rewarding thing for me in the ministry and the medical field is that I get to take care of God's people. So I get to take care of them both naturally and I get to take care of them physically as well. And when God gets through doing what he wants to do in their life, they are fulfilled. They feel good. And let me just give you a brief testimony about this one young man who comes to my clinic. Dr. House, I saw him last week. He came to me. He and I discussed how long he's been coming to see me, 8 months. And he is young. I'm thinking 32, 33 years old. And he come to me disheveled, hair all over his face, and he was so depressed. And he says to me, you got to give me some medicine. You got to help me. He said, I'd have been everywhere. Nobody can help me. He said, but somebody told me if I came here, you could help me.
Wow.
And I said, come have a seat, young man. Tell me what you got going on. And he talked to me and he was just and his mom and dad are evangelists. And he was
Wow.
going to tell me, I right. And he began to tell me his story. I said, you listen to me and you listen to me good. God got you. He got you and he has you at this place for a reason.
Yes.
I said, you just let me say this quick prayer and I'm going to give you what you need. And he got you. And so I said the quick prayer. I didn't pray long, maybe 5 minutes at the most. And I gave him what he came to get as for medically for him to take. And then that I gave him assignments in the natural to do concerning him and his wife and some projects for his home that his wife wanted him to do. I said, I want you to do these projects and you have 4 weeks and then I want you to come back to see me. Dr. House, when he came back in 4 weeks, the change was I can't even begin to tell you that change in 4 weeks. And he
Awesome.
came back and he was smiling and he had a notebook And he had wrote it all down. And he said, I didn't quite finish the project, but I almost got it. He said, I'm so hurt because I wanted it done before I got here to see you. But let me tell you this, here 8 months later, he has started his own business,
Praise God.
a staining and painting business. I know he got it all. It's all together. He's
Awesome.
already doing it. And he come in the other day and he just hugged my neck and he said, I thank you. I said, did God do it? I said, won't God do it? He said, he'll do it every time. So him and his family and his wife, they're going to church together again. And his mom
Yeah.
came to see me and bought me lunch. And she just hugged my neck and said, thank you. She said, I don't know what it is that you did that I couldn't do, but whatever it is, thank you. I said, I didn't do anything. I said, God did it. She said, I just want you to know I appreciate it. So I just give God all the glory because if I always tell people, if you don't want God to bless you, don't ask. Because
That's
if
true.
ask him, he sure will bless you. So I depend totally on him to do the things that I asked him to do because I believe within everything in me that if I ask him, he gonna do it. So I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful, and that's what keeps me going in what I do. Because if I can get them where they need to be, both spiritually and in their physical bodies, and he's cleaned up and he looks good and he's just doing well, and that's what I desire. In 3rd John 1, that's what God says, that not only does he said he desires that not only for us to prosper, but that our souls prosper as well.
Yes.
And so that's my scripture for my clinic, and that's what I desire for my patients when they come in, that not only that they prosper in the natural, but they prosper in the spiritual as well.
Oh, that is phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. So, you have such an impact, and I'm not even sure if you're aware of the impact that you have. Because here comes a man into your office that's saying, I need help. He's looking for medical help. He's trying to clean himself up. He wants to get himself on the right path. And here you are, not only helping him heal physically, but you have touched him to the point that he has formed a new relationship with God. So you have healed him mentally as well. So it's almost a combination of faithfulness in conjunction with your medical ability and your wisdom to understand when they need to be combined. And
Oh,
that right there is something that is a very precious tool and gem to have. So we have some people that are joining us. Dr. Josephine Harris, who is our president of our network, has dropped the information in for the Strong Her Cruise. Someone asked for the cruise information that we were talking about. Our founder is in here. Dr. Nikki Ziegler is saying, hey, hey, hey. She is in
hey,
the
Dr. Nikki.
She's here. We have a couple other Facebook users that are saying hello, how you doing? So you are being watched. Thank you. We tell everybody to tag and share, tag and share. This is a conversation that I am privileged because Dr. Kohlheim does not really like to do interviews. So I am really feeling privileged tonight that I have gotten her on this show and that she is sharing these nuggets with us. So, along with what it is that you do, there has to be some emotional toil on you. How do you handle that and stay the vibrant, uplifting person that you are?
I have to say, Dr. Angela, sometimes it does wear on me, especially um, on the spiritual side of things, because when people are going through, I have a heart for people. And so I labor pretty hard sometime in the spirit for them. And I can feel the pull of it. And it does really get to me. And I thank God. Let me tell you, I thank God for Prophet Apostle Alicia. because
Okay.
she shared something with me. She said it, and she kept moving in our class. She said, "You are a seer." Because I kept trying to figure out what this thing was that I had. I said, "This is something. It's something that I got, and I can't figure out what this thing is that I got." And she said, "You a doctor?" She said, "You are a seer," and I'm like, as soon as I got off that we got out of that class, I went to looking it up and looking it up and trying to figure out. And I said, "This is what this is. This is what this is." And
Awesome.
so, yes, I absolutely see things. And I not only do I see them, but I feel them. And when I do, I immediately start praying to God in the spirit for those things that I see and feel for others. And sometimes they get pretty heavy. And I thank God though, because it allows me the opportunity to be able to be stand in the gap for
Yes,
those who sometimes can't stand in the gap
absolutely.
for themselves.
Absolutely. So let's flip side. We talked about your medical and how you do that. Let's do the flip side of that. You're a pastor. You're a pastor
Yes.
of a church. How do you combine your pastoring and how does your congregation feel about knowing that not only is she my pastor, she's my doctor too? It's like E.F. Hutton. You're just everywhere.
Listen, my people at my church are spoiled
Okay.
rotten, and they, I had to try to get them back in line because they think they got special privileges, just like
Just
my
like your
family.
American Express card, it comes with privileges.
They think so. They think, just call anytime. Just stop you in the middle of the service before service start. Pastor, my toe hurting and I need some antibiotics. And you just, you just don't know what I go through. I can't go in Walmart. I can't do nothing. But you know what? They really, um, they they're pretty spoiled, but they take care of their pastors. So I
That's
thank God
good.
for them, and they love their pastor. So I thank God for my people at my ministry. I do.
Awesome. 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 So I do have another question, and this is just a me question. You're a pastor, you're a doctor. We know you're moving all the time. You're a very active part of this network. How do you find the time to stay up to date on advancements in the medical field?
And that is a must. And there are even in we don't have an options for those.
Right.
So we have to always be having taken classes, and we have to actually report those classes. And there's so many hours that we have to have, and all of that, and so that we can go to conferences, and then there is classes that we can take online and all of that kind of stuff. Then when we go to the different um, there's branches and different things that we go to that we
Right.
get CE units for, that we always getting teachings and stuff through. So and we have to literally stay abrupt because things change just all the time, even with
Yes.
medication and with the insurances and with things for our patients. I mean, it's just ever changing. So at first I couldn't understand why we got to keep taking these classes. I done been to school enough, but we got to take these classes. We have got to stay on top of these things, because if not, we would definitely stay behind. So yes, and I'm stretched quite a lot, and my husband be a little absurd, and he constantly says, "You're gonna have to take time and sit down. You're gonna have to take time and rest. You're doing
Right.
too
The
much. You
balance. The
got to thin
balance.
out the schedule. You got," and I'm like, it's thin, boo." And he like, "No, ma'am, no, it's not. I'm gonna need you to sit down somewhere."
So good. He got somebody to help keep you balanced, which is a good
Yes,
thing
and I
because,
thank God. Yes, I thank God for him, because he said, "Okay,
absolutely.
now it's time for you to sit down, get some rest. You got to get some rest." So I got some hope over here, Dr. Angela, that it helps me get somewhere and sit down.
So not only are you a minister, not only are you a doctor, you're very active in the Herpreneur Network. So tell me what the Herpreneur Network has done for you and how you juggle the network, because you're very active in it with everything else that you do, because you're a busy lady. And thank God I got your husband to keep you balanced. But You got one more thing on your plate there.
You know what? The I absolutely love the Herpreneur Network. It came to me at a time in my life when I absolutely needed them. When I absolutely needed you all. I was at a place, and I think I came in right before the what was the conference we went to? Dr. Nikki always messing with me about in the floor. Um,
Oh, the
uh,
Strong Her Retreat.
the Strong Her Retreat. I think I came in a few months before that and then went to the Strong Her Retreat. And I was at a place um, in my life where I was at a hard place. I was really at a hard place at the time. And I think that's where the floor ministry so much and during that time came in play. But it was a time the Lord knows what we need and when we need it and where we need to be to get what we need. And
Yes.
I thank God for the for this network because it lifted me and it has given me information and things that I needed to uplift me um, in places where I needed to be. Um, and is it takes time. It takes time, yes. Um, do I have to fit it in my schedule? Yes. But I feel like this is how I feel. We
Okay.
make time to do everything else that we want to do.
Yes.
And so I'm going to make time to do what's important for me. And,
Awesome.
and this is important to me. So,
It is. Is good. I like to say it's part of the balancing act that you have in life. So we
yes.
know we have Dr. Nikki, who is the provoker to push you into what it is that you do, but it's the sisterhood. It's the
Yes.
sisterhood where we hold each other accountable and we hold each other up. And when you're like, I'm tired, I can't do this no more. Somebody picks up that phone and will pray for you. Talk, what are you talking about? You can't do this anymore. Go take a nap. Somebody called me one day and said, take a nap. We say
Right.
that every morning. And I had to laugh because I was like, I probably was tired, because I have a full time job as well. So I was like, yeah, I'm having one of those days. And I can't even remember. It was my accountability partner. She said, you sound like you need a nap. Let's talk tomorrow. But that's the sisterhood that's in it
Yes.
because most people would not have even thought about it because I do my accountabilities on Zoom, and I guess you could just look at my face. And she was like, "You look really tired." I was like, "No, I'm all right." And I was starting to ask questions, and she's going, "I think you need to go take a nap." And I started laughing because I was like, "I haven't heard anybody tell me to take a nap in years." But it was good advice because I did need to, you know, decompress and get
Right.
and get myself back together. So it's the sisterhood. It's when it's the celebrations for the birthdays. Like when you just had a
Yes.
birthday, it's the celebrations that keep you uplifted. It's when anybody makes an accomplishment, we're all rooting and cheering together. So it's a network unlike anything that I've been involved in. And we are so glad to have you here because you just bring so many things to the table for us.
I've never been a part of anything like this before. And yesterday was my 60th birthday. And my husband and I, we were not able to do anything. And I was thinking, oh, this 60th birthday gonna be such a drag. And then yesterday morning I come on the network with you all, and then it is just like y'all made it just I mean, I cried. It was raining so hard I could barely see it. Then I'm crying all the way to work. I mean, I'm literally boo-hooing because y'all spent, I know, at least all the 30 minutes just talking about me and my birthday and people saying stuff. See, and I need a Dr. Angela in my life, and I need a Jamila and a Dr. Nikki in my life because it makes all the world of difference when I'm at a place like I was yesterday. It's y'all always there to lift me up. We can't ever be down because it's always
Always, yeah.
somebody
Somebody's always, some are always there giving you that push. Absolutely,
always,
absolutely, absolutely.
and I thank God for it.
So my other question for you, and this is a personal question for you, because you juggle so much, how do you handle yourself emotionally? Because you got a heart for the people, you got a heart for your patients, even when it's a hard situation. And in the middle of all of that, you still have to keep that to see together. How do you handle that mental, emotional roller coaster?
Most of the time I do well. Sometimes, though, Dr. Angela, I have breakdowns.
Mm.
And guess who get that breakdown?
Your husband.
Yes. And guess what he does? He just stands right there and just hold me and let me just lay on him and cry it out. And he pat me in my back and tell me how it's gonna be all right. And once I get past that point and he gets through talking to me and loving on me and telling me it's gonna be all right, I'm good. I'm good. But every now and then it gets to be too much. And then, physically, I don't care how saved you get, I don't care how strong you think you are. Sometime we still in this natural human body.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're gonna get to that place where that it's gonna break for us. But once we get past that, I always tell my people, um, just when we get there, take a few minutes, let it out, process it all, get back up and get back in the fight. And that's what I do. I get
Awesome.
right on up and get right back in there. And
Now, I know you have these adult children. So
oh
they,
God, yeah.
let's talk about these children.
I like this. I like this word, adult children. I
Yeah,
love that terminology.
yeah, they're adult children. At least mine are. They're
Yeah.
adult, but they still children. So, so that's the phrase I got because I told somebody. Somebody said, "I'll be so glad when they become adults and they leave home." I was like, "No, they never go all the way away.
Never ever.
Sometimes they even come back, but they never go all the way away."
We learn the hard way, don't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let's talk about your children and how they fit into your world. I know they're extremely proud of their mom. They don't have any choice but to be otherwise.
So my which is my second child, which is now the oldest one, his name is Jonathan. He is absolutely smart like his daddy. He does not live here. He lives in California.
Ah, okay.
He is uh, he is uh, he started out, he was going to be a doctor, and he decided he didn't want to be on that side of medicine, so he's on the administrative side of medicine. So he is just the absolute wonderful child. He does not give me any trouble whatsoever. He came down here. uh He's been gone a month. He came down here and stayed with me for 3 minutes, dad, 3 months, and helped me with his daddy.
Mm,
And we expected his father to have had his kidney transplant by now, and it hadn't happened. So he
okay.
went back home, and he said just as soon as that happens, he'll be back to help me. And
Okay.
he is such an awesome, awesome, awesome child. And my children are great children. All of my children are great. And the twins, and my twin daughter is pregnant. She's having her first baby
Ah,
August the 17th. She's having
is
a
that
little
your first
girl.
grand?
That'll be my second. I have one
Okay.
granddaughter, Nova. Nova will be 3 in June.
Okay.
And then Bella Renee will be here August the 17th. And then,
Ah,
so her brother has Nova, which will be 3. And
okay.
then his twin is having Bella and all.
Ah,
So,
awesome, awesome.
and those are my only grandchildren. So
Grandchildrens are a delight, and
they are.
I'm gonna give you the secret. The first two usually get the best of you. At least that's what my kids say. Because we had this like 11-year leap between the first two and the next two. So by the time the next two came around, I was kind of like, ah, done this, did this. I'm not ready to do this over again. So I'm the programmer. It's like, you want it, we're going to the store, we're going to buy it, we're good. But those first two, It's like every time you turn around, I had them with me. I thought they were my kids for a minute. Every time you turn around, they were my kids. I had to have them with me. But they've done a good job at putting them out because right now they range from 29 to 8. So
How
I've got
many
this
do you have?
8,
Oh gosh.
8, 8, 29 to 8. And I just laugh. It's like, I need y'all to stop at some point. Let's stop this baby thing. And my son's like, "You're supposed to be a grandma." I was like, "I'm not your grandmother." Because my grandmother was a stay at home and wanted to be in the middle of everything and take care of the kids and everybody's there. I was like, "I'm not the typical grandmother."
And
But
I'm not either.
they are such an enjoyment of your life. And the best part is you get to give them back home.
That's right. And it's so different with grandkids than it is with children
Yes, it is. It is.
because my granddaughter gets away with all kinds of stuff that my children never, ever, ever would have gotten away with.
Yeah, I hear that story too. If we were little, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
I'm the grandmother. I'm not the parent.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So, can you share like one of your most memorable experiences in from a professional perspective? Because I mean, you had to have had such an impact on the lives of so many people. But we always have that one story that we never forget. What's yours? And you may have more than one.
My most memorable. Ooh, the one I shared earlier to me was the most memorable one to me recently
Oh, okay.
about the young man
Hmm.
because it was just so profound of him and he was so young.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Herpreneur Network while you're thinking of your next one.
Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
yes. So this is Her Talks with the Herpreneur Network. My name is Dr. Angela House. I am your host of this. Join me every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We have some amazing guests that come on and they just uplift us. They tell us their life story. They help us understand different sides of life. It doesn't matter what your story is. Tonight we have Dr. Cynthia KKohliem, who is a minister and a doctor. We've had boutique owners on here. We've had mental health experts on here. We've had leadership folks on here. So this network is a plethora of different levels of experiences that you can have. So if you're looking for a home, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, this might be the place that you need to be to join the Herpreneur Network. But we are having some amazing events that are coming up. I'm so excited. Our first event is going to be the Her Experience. It is a business expo. I like to say it is the ultimate networking experience. We're going to have a plethora of speakers from across the board, all kinds of topics. We're going to network together. We're going to have the speakers. We're going to have vendors. So if you are in the Houston area, come and join us. We're going to be there at the Grand Hyatt West on May the 30th through June the 2nd. It is going to be phenomenal. We are still looking for some vendors. I think we have a few speaker slots open. So if you are a speaker, you need to come and join us at the Her Experience in Dallas, Texas. We're having a cruise this year. We're going to have a self-care. The Strong Her Retreat is usually in Destin, Florida. It's usually about self-care, floor ministry, as Dr. Kohlheim says. You get the word, but we have fun, and we don't talk about business. We talk about topics that are centered at the women in self-care. So this year we're pivoting. We're going on a cruise The cruise is in October. We're leaving out of Miami. We're going to Nassau, Bahamas, Half Moon Cay, Bahamas, and then we're going to the Turks and the Caicos Islands. It is going to be a week that you won't forget. It is going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of self care. I see that they have just put the job forms in the link for me. Thank you so much for both Houston and for the Strong Hair Experience. And the Strong Hair Experience next year, we're already preparing. It is going global. We are going to Dubai. And to me, it's the trip I'm going on. Without a doubt, God willing, as my grandmother would have said, is God willing, I'm going to be on that trip. This is one of my bucket list trip, and now I have an amazing reason to go. Not only will I get to network globally and meet new people, I get to have the whole Dubai experience. So we've got some phenomenal things going on in this network. We got different levels of membership. Reach out to membership at the Herpreneur Network if you want to join this network or if you want to get more information. When I tell you this is a transformative sisterhood, it will change your life. It will give you new perspective. It will help you reach your goals. And I can never say enough amazing things about the Herpreneur Network. But right now, I am going back to my most amazing guest, Dr. Cynthia KKohliem. You had time to think about my question. So tell me again another instance that has really impacted your life, a memorable experience for you.
I had this one lady that was she was visiting here um, from out of the country actually, and she had a GI bleed, and she was in the hospital, and I went and I was rounding on her one morning, and I went to check on her, and I was standing next to her bed, and she talked. She had an accent, and I was saying good morning, and she was saying good morning, and asked her how she felt, and she told me how she felt, and I said, so tell me what's on your mind. She said, I tell you what's on my mind. I want you to pray for me today. And I was like, oh, I would absolutely love to.
Mhm.
And I prayed for her. And she said, can I ask you one other thing? And I said, what? She said, will you sing me a song? I said, can I ask you one thing? And she said, what? I said, how you know I sing? She said, because you got a raspy voice. And so we laughed. And so I stood at her bedside, Dr. Angela, and I sung her a song. And she cried and she cried.
Oh,
And then she says to me, okay, now I'm ready to go. And I said, ready to go where? She said, I'm ready to go. And I said, is it anything that you need to do before you go? She said, I've got it all together. I've taken care of everything I need to take care of. You've prayed for me, and I'm ready to go.
oh
She
wow.
said, will you come back and see me tomorrow? I said, I'll be back in the morning. And Dr. Angela, when I went back the next morning, she had just passed away.
Oh wow.
Let me tell you something now. That morning I cried and cried.
I can imagine.
I cried and cried because she was telling me that she had got herself together with God and she was ready to go.
Mhm.
She was ready to go. But she had me to pray with her, pray for her, and she had me to sing for her. And her daughter came in and talked to me, and she had left me some things, and her
Oh,
daughter gave them to me that morning. And that right there still makes me kind of um, teary eyed. I don't know. It was just something about that, and it was something about her and her daughter that just it was just something different about that whole situation. But that is definitely something I'll never forget. But God puts people in our paths, and
yeah.
that's why I always tell people you got to always be treating people right, even whether if you know them or not, um, even
Yeah.
if they treat you right or not, because people sometimes will even not even talk to me right and not sometimes use the right tone of voice with me, and I'll try my best to even um, say something nice or sweet to them to try to get them to turn around what they're saying. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna work.
It
And
is.
people will change what they're doing and the way they're talking because of the way you're talking to them. So we can't, I always say everybody can't be fire, somebody got to be water. But I just thank God for the opportunity that He gives me to promote Him. So I try to take every opportunity that I can to promote Him.
And that was good because, sometimes God uses us to be angels for somebody else. And I can understand you being teary eyed behind that. I mean, you were telling the story and I was getting teary eyed. So I understand it, because a lot of times what we don't do is stand back. We'll be like, I'm not doing that. But we don't understand what God has us, why He has us to do certain things. Because at the end of the road, He's using you. He's using you to do his work. And sometimes to give that level of comfort that is needed, he uses a physical person. It's not always, something that's spiritual. It's just a confirmation that sometimes that we need to say, it's okay. It's time to let go. And I'm good with that. So, you know, they always talk about nurses being angels or doctors being angels in disguise. Truly, truly, you are an angel in disguise. You are there to help people. You're open hearted. You are just so down to earth and natural that what you do is invaluable to people. And you may not even know it, but you bring a worth and self value to others, and you don't even know that you're doing it because you are such a light to the world. So I commend you. I mean, it's a lot to juggle being a pastor and a doctor. A lot of us couldn't do it. We juggle different businesses, but it's business. All of us don't have that innate ability to separate the two, to find the compassion that you need, as well as the business side of things. And you handle that and do that extremely well. So I am very privileged to know you, glad that we have become acquainted. And you are just a phenomenal woman within your own right. And I just love it. I just love it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Angela. Stop all that now.
Look, we got to make sure that birthday is coming on and doing what we're supposed to do for the birthday.
Listen, my birthday has been so awesome, so awesome. God
Good.
has just, He is just so awesome in what He does. The very time I think that nothing's gonna happen is when everything happens. I got flowers, my cash app, which is booming. I mean, I literally took, I think, $600-700 off my cash app and put it in my bank account where people were sending me. I mean, it was just like, I was like, for real? For
Right,
real?
right,
For
right,
real?
right.
I'm like, God, you just awesome. You're just
He's
awesome.
awesome.
So
He is.
I thank God for what He does for us. I always say God is thinking about us a lot of times when our mind is somewhere else. We're not even thinking about Him, but He's
Yeah.
always thinking about us. And I
You know,
thank you.
I always say what the old folks say. He may not come when you want him, but he's right on time. Always,
What you
always,
say? What you
always.
say? Always.
I
Ooh,
used to hear that a lot when I was growing up. I never really knew what that means. I understand what it means now. He knows
yes.
what you want. He may not come because you say I need it now. You're gonna get it, and you're gonna get it in His time. And you are absolutely an awesome woman. Absolutely. And never ever forget that. And we got some good times coming up because I know you're going on some of these trips with us. I know we're going to have a
Ooh,
phenomenal time.
I can't wait till I can go.
I
Ooh,
cannot wait. I cannot wait. The closer we get, the more excited we get. It's like a little kid waiting for Christmas. You know, when
right.
Christmas, Christmas is in November. It's April. May's coming next month. So it's just like that was always my favorite time of year. My birthday's in November, so it's like my birthday's coming in November. Then Christmas is going to come behind November. So I used to be all excited because it was all about me. It was all about me. But now it's all about the sisterhood. So May is coming. We're excited. It is going to be a phenomenal time together. We have Michelle Bonner is in the room. She has said you are awesome. Uh, just so many accolades. Dr. Nikki has put the jot forms for everything in here, from the cruise, for Dubai, for Houston, joining the network. We are here. We are here. We are here. So this again is the Herpreneur Network. If you're just joining in, we're getting ready to come to the end of this show, but this is a phenomenal network. If you want to know more about us, we have a Facebook page that is the Herpreneur Network International. Come to that page, join that page, check out and see what we're doing. Be a part of this is a movement. It is a movement. It is a movement of Christian women in business and ministry doing God's work, spreading the joy. And it's a sisterhood. Someone laughed at me the other day. They said, where you from? I said, the hood. I'm from the sisterhood. So, I have that warped sense of humor. But when I say that hood, I'm talking about the Herpreneur Network, because it is better to me than any sorority that's out there. It is a true sisterhood. It's honest, and it is founded on the Word of God. So I am going to thank you. You have been an absolutely phenomenal guest. I can't wait to have you back again. This has been terrific. You have given out such nuggets. So just before we go, what is the last thing that you would like to leave for our viewing audience?
I would just like to say I am so honored and so blessed to be um, chosen by God and to be in the land of the living and to be a part of this network. God is just awesome. And I want to say I thank God for you, Dr. House. I thank God
Oh,
for
thank you.
because you're just awesome. And I thank God for Dr. Nikki and the network. Dr. Nikki Ziegler, thank you for seeing in us when we don't what we don't see in ourselves. And I encourage anyone that has not did your homework and know anything, that does not know anything about this network, just ask somebody, or just go on the site, or come in the weapon room in the mornings at 5:30. It is just an awesome place to be. um, come and check us out. That's all I can say. Come and check us out and become a part of this great move. It's a great move of God. It's a great move of in your business. You won't regret it. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. You won't regret it. Thank you, Dr. House, for having me. I've enjoyed myself to the fullest. I don't like doing interviews, but I must say I have really enjoyed this. You have made it
Good,
pleasant.
good,
Thank
good.
you so much.
Good. And hopefully this will not be the last time that we have you on here. Dr. Nikki is in the room saying, hey y'all. That's that Alabama in her. Hey y'all. So hey back at you, Dr. Nikki. We see you. So you are welcome on this show anytime. It has been my profound honor and pleasure to have you here. And I can't wait to see you when we go to Houston. I can't wait to just talk to you at any time. We are here for each other, and the sisterhood is true.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, to my audience, I'm going to say thank you and good night from the Herpreneur Network, Her Talks. Thank you for joining me. I hope to have you here again next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Got another special guest. Not going to tell you who it's going to be. You're going to have to come on in and find our next phenomenal woman that is going to be a part of the conversation. I hope everybody has an amazing evening, a great rest of the night, and I will see you next Thursday. Thank you. Good night.